Welcome to presentation the final project for ID 2126 English for Architecture and Urbanism Planning 3. Teacher Quiteria Franco, maybe students Michelle Rodríguez and Leonardo Escalona. The theme is live to Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe was one of the representations of architectural rationalists. He was born in Germany on March 27, 1986. From 1908 to 1911, he worked in the office of Peter Benz, from whom Mies developed an architectural style based on advanced structural techniques and Prussian classicism. He has made innovation design with steel and glass. In 1930, he led the Bauhaus of the South. It was closed in 1933 due to pressure to modify the school student regime. The rise of Nazi in Germany forced him to emigrate to United States in 1937, where he was a prominent director of the architecture faculty of the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago. He died on August 17 of 1966 night in Chicago, learning a legacy of the new canons for architecture that under his influence pushing motto likes less is more and good is in the details. He is considered one of the most important masters of the modern architecture.
Mies van der Rohe is characterized by spatial simplicity, the use of clean plans, abstraction, and the search for a rational planned layout. The walls, furniture, or in some cases the service model and the scale management of these are the few elements used to sectorize the different space in the plan, and thus maintain a spatial continuity. One of its greatest exponents is the Crown Hill building, designed for the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago, IIT. It is the centerpiece of a master plan for the campus, funded in 1940. This building, designed for the study of architecture, consists of two levels, a main floor and semi-barred level where office and services are located. Mies described the main floor with a single glass space as a universal space, designed to be totally flexible in its use. The few divisions that it presents are movable, realized with light panels that allow to change things of place, adapting the space as required. The philosophy of the building is that it can be adapted to any use thanks to its structure, modulation, and spatial flexibility. On the other hand, the service plan has a much more specific and compartmentalized program, that in contrast the universal space has a much smaller scale where all the requirements and functionalities are the same. The building is completely modulated, from the structure to the marble panels that make up the floor, give coherence and scale to each activity that takes place. Mies was interested in generate white space, essentially empty space, where the circulation is fluid and not predetermined. The German Pavilion, built as a national pavilion of Germany on the occasion of the Universal Exhibition of Barcelona of 1929, is composed by plans that enter and leave the structure, generate an expressive force that resides in the spatial transparency, and that allows a physical and visual route of all the space. The Simón building, built between 1954 and 1958, is a symbol of the contemporary industrial world for this innovative layout and per-volumetric handling. The elevator and stairs model is arranged in the back and inside of the building, so that the facade maintains the shape of the prince that gives the image to its company.
Mies was very meticulous when designing this building, and for him read was fundamental. From the element of the facade of the building how the internal spatiality of the same to the furniture. In this work, S.R. Cranhall, it can be seen that the structure is not only fundamental, but he has all used into define the rate of the building. This created a hint of interior space and to use to combine structural elements with no structural ones. And announcing its design philosophy thus includes the use of ornament, creative decomposition of elements shows a delicate art that expresses materially, spatiality, sensations, and travels. On the design, Reed can also appreciate by overlaying know all the elements that make up space, lighting, floor cover, windows, harmony, many others. Are looked at using model and read that define the internal perspective and know you like the space. Light has represented one of the most important elements with architectural design. Is the use as reference to give hierarchy, it use circulation, and other factors. In the case of Mies, he did in natural in the crown hall by using all the facade of the building. He did this the access floor to give a correct hierarchy and correct the special fee, since in the construction with use of reflection materials and this ideal of universal space, the larger amount of light helps to a string of spatial sensations that the architect wishes. In contrast, in the basement floor, they use the light a much more subtle way, because vivid semi-blue it generates a different atmosphere. This shower use now, depending of the use and the intention of architect, light can be shared to artificial different objective.
The interest in materials as an expressive element defines his work. The color is present in the handling of steel, glass, marble, and stone, as well as the characteristic texture of it generate an atmosphere that gives identity to the place. The use of steel and glass generate chromatic combinations that go from the white to black, by varying their tonalities to give the ideal and elegant finishes, such as the Barcelona Pavilion, in which there are different shades of marble that give an identity to the place, so that spatial experience will not be the same if it were not. A way in which Mies used the color a little more abstract is with the incorporation of the outside with the inside. The use of glass generates direct visuals with the environment that in many cases is natural, as in the case of Frankfurt House or the Crown Hall. In this way, elements like vegetation and water, in the particular case of German Pavilion or the Simón building, form part of the chromatic variations of the work of Mies. As an industrial designer, he was aware that the details were the ones that gave elegance to his work. Citing one of his most famous "God is in details," this concern becomes evident. We have the case of the structural details of the Simón building, where paradoxically the steel structure covered in concrete is recovered by steel sheets that allude to a completely metallic structure. This, in order to maintain the same language in this facade of profile steel and glass characteristic of their work. The facade, although apparently very simple, had a great compositional complexity. The bronze metallic skin, consisting of horizontal and vertical elements, have the insinuation of the reticular and structural distribution inside the building. In the same way, the clean and pure design of the furniture combines the beauty of the material and composition with elements in the functional and aesthetic sense. When it says the function determines the shape, and that is why this chair has no elements that not have any type of function.
However, there were issues that Mies did not play particular attention. This is the case of acoustic. The crown hall building, despite having completely gallery facade, uses this large scale and this ceiling to control the sound propaganda using the features to decrease the frequency of the waves in the space. Nevertheless, were like the house fans were in Chicago press a high level of acoustic due to usual material using a Dutch house that causes distortion of the sound waves and hurt the experience on the space. Added to this, the arrangement of the future element does not help to these features. Many of the work are architectural icons. This expanding, even as beautiful, is present this acoustic problem that makes in a inhabitable space. However, Mies is one creative exponent of the modern architecture. His philosophy, less is more, appeared to err were entered therewith because a simplified but with a very futuristic vision. They consider that architecture is the will of time transcendental into space, and they made it visual with the use of innovative materials that allow as space to open that advantage of building on the constant change of sociality with until that word transcendental in the time, and that until today they continue to be one of the major exponents of architecture.
Thanks for your attention. We hope you enjoy it.